Do you even need an action camera gimbal combination anymore? And can one camera give you all sorts of multicam abilities? The Insta360 One. Let's find out. What's up everyone, I'm the Everyday Dad. If I can figure it out, you can figure it out. So full disclosure, Insta360 sent me their one 360 degree action camera for me to check it out. They're not paying me for this video, they just want me to give my opinions on it as an action camera because they think it has a serious place as a contender in the action camera market. Well, we're gonna find that out today. Now, normally for an action camera, we'd unbox it, we'd go through the pillars of action, and we'll still discuss the pillars of action here in a little bit. But since this is such a departure from my normal action cameras, we're gonna do this video a little bit differently. And if you're a 360 camera person, this video is not gonna cover 360 degree camera stuff at all, like tiny planets or any kind of weird stuff. All I am interested in is, can this replace my gimbal action camera combination? And is this actually capable of being an action camera? Like, can you take this out vlogging? Can you take this out mountain bike riding? Can you take this out and do what you want to do action-wise that normally you would use a GoPro, Sony action camera? Can this replace all of those? So first up, let's cover the basic specs so we're all kind of on the same page. The Insta360 One is a 360 degree camera that works mainly with an iPhone. They do make an Android adapter, and most Android phones are compatible, however not all are. Check the Insta360 website to make sure your Android phone is compatible first. I use my iPhone 7 Plus in the making of this video. It has an f2.2 aperture. It has a photo resolution of 24 megapixels. It has a video resolution of up to 3840 by 1920, or more technically known as consumer 4K. I'm not sure that we're at that level, but we'll find out here in a little bit. It supports UHS 1 SD cards with a max storage capacity of 128 gigabytes, and it has a built-in internal 820 milliamp hour battery. Now for stabilization, it does have built-in 6-axis gyroscopic stabilization, which another reason that Insta360 sent me this camera was they just had a major update on March 24th, like 4 days ago as of the release of this video, where they rehauled the entire stabilization. So I'm so excited to take this out on the trail and see how well it works. It does have several modes available for filming, such as bullet time, hyperlapse, and you can use it as a live streaming platform where you can live stream in 360 degrees. But like I said, what I am focused on is this potential as an action camera. And could it potentially replace my GoPro Hero 6 with my Tech G5? They say it's gimbal level qualities of stabilization, so we're definitely gonna call them on that. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna go hop on the bike and we're gonna try this out on the trail, see how well it works. Let's go. Hooah! So now that we're back, so I like a lot of what the Insta360 One has going on for it. I like that I'm able to have one camera in a fixed location, but in post-production, I can get whatever angle I want. There's almost unlimited, within the 360 degrees of viewing, I could get almost any angle that I want. I think that's pretty impressive for such a tiny little camera. Now, doing the post-production is relatively easy using the Insta360 One app. So inside of the app, you can change the angle of the video, and they call this ability free capture. It allows you to do several things. One, you can do things like track the subject. Two, you can set it to pivot around the scene however you want. Third, they have the ability, kind of like what GoPro was calling over capture, where you can set your phone and decide where you want the shot to be. And that's my preferred method of doing all of this in post. And like we said, with the latest March 24th firmware update, Insta360 said they have gimbal levels of stabilization. And that is a bold claim, Insta360. That is a very bold claim, because you're talking to the guy that loves action cameras, and I love gimbals, and you're trying to encroach on my gimbals. You can't take my gimbals away from me, but I also am not sure that this is quite a gimbal replacement yet. We'll talk about the stabilization when we get to the pillars of action, but I don't think we're gonna be replacing my gimbal yet. Okay, now that we got the uniqueness out of the way and we're looking at this solely as an action camera that I'm taking out and getting dirty, you know what that means. How does this stack up to the pillars of action? Well, I already screamed it once this week. I don't need to scream it a whole bunch. First up, durability. Now, I spent the last 2 weeks beating up Yi for their discovery for having exposed ports on their action camera. And Insta360, you're not gonna escape from that. You see that right there? That is an exposed charging port. That's pretty rough when you're out riding. It's misty, you tumble, dirt, water and stuff is gonna get into that little port. And don't think that's super durable. So durability, not bad. I mean, it does have a waterproof case that you can get separately, but it's not waterproof out of the box, and we'll talk here in compatibility that it does have something that I'm happy with. Ease of use. Now, ease of use can be a relative term. To use it, it's incredibly easy. You just turn it on, let it record and go. But when it comes to actually getting your footage out of it, with a regular action camera, you just press the button. What you see is what you're gonna get, that's it. With the Insta360, on the back end, you do all of your post-production. So relatively, it's easy, but compared to a regular camera, it's not as easy. When it works, this camera is exceedingly easy to use. Now, I did have some significant problems getting the smart track to work following me around while I was dancing around my mountain bike. And once completed, I had to reset it all because the app kept crashing when I wanted to export it. Eventually, I was able to get it to work, but there are still some glitches with the app. And like I said, this software is 4 days old, so I assume they'll release some updates that will increase the stability of the entire platform. Next up, compatibility with GoPro and well, it's not compatible with GoPro or my gimbals. I mean, that's kind of the point. It's trying to replace all those, so it kind of fails in the compatibility with GoPro. It has its own pillar. It says, we don't need you, GoPro pillar of action. We're creating our own pillar. But when it comes to compatibility, it does have a tripod mount there on the bottom. So it's already better than the action camera we already checked out this week that we won't mention, but there's some videos of it if you want to see it. Next up, decent, not perfect image quality. Okay, so like I've said many times, I don't look for perfect image quality. I just need something usable. Now for this footage, the Insta360 was set to max image quality, and I was using a 4K capable SD card during the filming of this video, and the image quality is pretty rough. Now, this day was terrible for lighting. It was very overcast, it was drizzly, it was misty, so it's not the best day, and action cameras of all kinds would have struggled in this kind of environment. But I'm not getting 4K levels of quality out of the image, but you're not really getting this just straight up on the image quality. You're getting this in that the Lite only gets the image quality here, whereas the Insta360 One gets image quality from everywhere. We can make any angle we want, which is really, really neat, and it will be able to make your videos more engaging. So the image quality is not the greatest, but what you can do with it, I am still very intrigued with. Stabilization. Like I've already said a few times, Insta360 really touts the stabilization of this camera after the 24 March update. You can see in this video right here that the Insta360 is mounted straight onto my mountain bike, and this is placed right on the handlebar with no dampening at all except the front fork. It is smoothing it out really well. I mean, yeah, there's a little bit of shakes, but any action camera would be much worse than this. And I've taken my Sony FDR-X3000 out on these trails before, and I gotta be honest, this has pretty good stabilization. I don't know that I'd call it gimbal levels of stabilization, but I do think this is pretty good as an action camera with built-in stabilization. So what, right? So should you get an Insta360 One? I am not yet at the point where I can make a definitive statement on whether you should or should not get this, but I'm not totally sold yet. The app crashes all the time on me. The image quality is not very good. This is a $300 action camera. We'll do some more comparisons between this and a gimbal action camera setup, and I'll make more of a decision here in the future, but as of right now, I cannot make either a yes, go get it, or a no, don't get it statement yet. And if you have any questions or there's anything you want to see out of the Insta360 One, leave a comment below and I'll make sure we show what you want to see if you have a purchasing question decision about the Insta360 One in a future video. Also, if you're new here, click that subscribe button down below. We do tech videos every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern. Well, hey, I'm the Everyday Dad, and if I can figure out that the Insta360 One may have the potential to be an action camera, I'm not 100% sold yet, but may have the potential, you can figure it out. Thanks for watching.